Hello, beautiful people. I'm Ingrid of Our Divine Beauty, and today you're going to be witnessing greatness because my friend from my alma mater, from my city, New Orleans, is joining me today. He is the first African American to own a interactive social media app that encourages entrepreneurship. It's like LinkedIn and Instagram on steroids, and it encourages it is what we need as a people as far as our voices being heard. Our voices are being suppressed on Instagram, and they're being suppressed on TikTok, and these social media apps and their algorithms are not catered to us. We have to code switch, and we're just making them all the money. So I want to encourage our people to learn about being and to create user profiles. You can also invest in it. It's just amazing. So without me just continuing to ramble on, check it out.
Hi, I'm Darren Walker, born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm honored to be the founder and CEO of Beam. So 7 years ago, I came across an article indicating that African Americans were significantly lagging behind other racial groups in terms of economic upward mobility, despite having the 16th largest buying power in the world. This troubling statistic really sparked a curiosity in me to learn more about my history and ignited a passion in me to create a solution. My team and I are excited about Beam, a well-designed, user-friendly social network that is centered around economic advancement for urban communities. The Beam app's sleek, intuitive design was created with the future of economics in mind. With the swipe of your finger, you can connect to local businesses, expand your network, and increase your wealth. Some of the most important benefits are increased revenues and profits for business owners as well as entrepreneurs.
To learn more about Darren, stay tuned. Hi. All right, we're in business. We're in business.
Yes.
Can you see me?
I can see you perfectly fine, like you're next door.
Beautiful, beautiful. I am so grateful to have you here with me today. You're like a hometown hero to me. And that is not fluffing. That's not fluff. That is not, tooting anything. That's not trying to kiss up or anything like that. That's just real. You are doing amazing things, and there's no other way to put it. There's no other way to put it. I'm grateful that you're all modest and everything, but you are creating history, and there's no other way to put it. And so without further ado, I just want to introduce everyone to you. Darren Walker is a native of Louisiana, Harvey, Louisiana, that's just outside of New Orleans. And he graduated from my alma mater, John Ehret.
That's right, Patriots.
Yes, we didn't graduate the same year. You graduated what, 02?
I graduated in 03. I thought we were the same year.
Oh, we are the same year. Oh my God, hold on, two. Yes.
And I'm sorry, I saw the little recording button, so no, we're good. Okay.
Oh yeah, we're good. We're rolling. Okay. We are rolling. And so you are, like I said, a local hero, and I'm just grateful to know you. When someone is creating history, things that are changing the world, that are, you're creating something. I'm all for the revolution. And I love revolutionary talk. And so Bean is doing something that is, monumental for our community, especially with the climate of the world. It's not just a nation. Like, everyone is protesting on, several continents. And so it's interesting that you're on another continent right now, but you're doing something just incredible. And I cannot wait to share with the audience about what you are doing. Yes. What'd you say?
No, I said I appreciate that. I appreciate what you're saying.
Yes. So you're a serial entrepreneur, you're a husband, you're a father, and you are someone who's very, very modest. You like to be low key, but please, 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 if you will, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Yeah, absolutely. So, born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana, specifically out of Harvey, which is on the West Bank, the Best Bank.
Yes.
And, as you mentioned, graduated from John Ehret High School, have been an entrepreneur my entire life. You know, my mom had a daycare that we ran from the garage, and I used to help her. And also, I'm the youngest of 6 kids, so we all kind of worked in my mom's enterprise. And I didn't realize it at the time, but me working with my mom in her daycare was really the first introduction to entrepreneurship,
Yes.
because mom owned her own business, and I used to start helping her make the rules for her business, because sometimes, a lot of times actually, the parents would show up late to pick up the kids, and we didn't have any sort of system in place to like charge them a late fee or whatever. And I couldn't go out and play basketball until all the kids were gone. And so I had an incentive for the parents to show up on time. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, Mom, we got to implement something to make sure they get here, And so we started doing late fees, and it actually changed our business. So I was like 8, 9 years old, helping her put that together. And, we worked together on a lot of things. And so that was the initial start into entrepreneurship.
I would say you were a director of a child care facility.
Exactly, right?
At 9 years old.
I need to put that on my resume.
I'm serious, that's a part of your experience. And speaking of your mom just pouring into you, that is so important, to pour into our children from a young age. We're taught, you go to college, get a job, work for someone else, but you were taught entrepreneurship and ownership from a very young age. Now,
That's
you
right.
did go on and go to school and everything, but you have kids of your own, right?
That's right.
And so you understand that they can be entrepreneurs now. What are you pouring into your kids? What are you teaching them? What is the legacy of your mom to you, to them?
Sure. So yeah, my legacy with my girls is really just in terms of the importance of ownership, embracing their creativity, really encouraging their ideas. I think it's really important. My daughter, it's kind of, and I'm also encouraging hard work, because they see my wife and I sort of enjoying the fruit of our labor now. And so my daughter, she's kind of clueless in some ways. She's like, Dad, when you gonna get a job? And like, why are you always at home? Like, why do you have so much free time? And I'm like, kid, I've worked for this, But so
I hope she's not looking at you like a bum.
right, exactly. But look, I put her in a place real quick, right? I'm like, keep in mind, we live in another continent off of businesses that we set up in the United States. All right, so chill out, little kid. But no, so we're careful to give them context, especially when they say things like that, and just the importance of managing money well, and not giving them some sort of idea that money is just easy and you get whatever you want and make it rain. No.
The value of hard work.
Value of hard work, responsibility,
earning.
Absolutely. And so those are the things that that we look to pass on, to our girls, just those things. Those are the things we're trying to dial in on, especially because they're growing up differently than I grew up, with having to hustle and get it.
Right. And so they are privileged, to come up in a different environment than what you came up. You are in an entrepreneurship home, but you are a traveling family, you live in a whole nother country. So do they participate in the businesses?
They do a little bit. Like, so with Zoe's, Zoe's is a queso cheese product that we have, that's in pretty much every major chain in Louisiana, and we just expanded to Mississippi and Alabama.
Wow.
But we're Whole Foods, we're in Rouse's.
Say that name again, Zoe's Queso?
That's right, Zoe's Queso.
Yeah.
And it's an all-natural queso cheese product. It's delicious. It's absolutely amazing. And so we get the girls in there on some of the commercials, and we have some commercials that we're working on now that they'll be a part of them. And so they're already kind of involved, in that.
So you guys are in Louisiana and Mississippi?
Yeah. So through Rouse's chain, we are in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama.
Okay. Well, we may have to get you guys on a commercial on my TV show.
Oh, say it again?
I'm a part of a TV show, so we may have to get you a commercial on there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
we're going to be across the nation.
Okay, absolutely. I'm down.
All right, so moving on. So on to the next thing. We briefly spoke on this, but you live in Colombia.
I do live in Colombia.
What brought about that? How did you make it from New Orleans to Colombia.
Right. So it's a very interesting conversation. Um, see here. So it started. So my wife is Hispanic, right? So
Yes.
her dad is Colombian. Her mom is Guatemalan. And so years ago, her dad and I became very close. We're very kindred. He's just kind of the Colombian version of me, but entrepreneur, hustler kind of guy. And so I would see him go back and forth to Guatemala all the time on different business trips or whatever. And so I think that was part of what piqued my interest. And then there's a part of me that is from like a ministry perspective. Since I was a teenager, I've always desired to be a part of evangelism, and a lot of evangelism happens, not only in the United States, but of course all over the world. So
Yes.
I have this sort of spark, this curiosity about other cultures, other languages, other places. And so you sort of fast forward about 6 years ago, before my youngest daughter was born, my wife and I started talking about what would it be like to live in another country. And so it's just an idea we sort of played with or whatever. And my whole thing was I wanted to raise my kids a lot how I was raised, but I also like to sort of mix things up just a little bit so that you can kind of tweak the recipe a little bit. Like not too
Yes.
much, but just enough to where we can maybe raise the bar. And
Right.
so one of the things for my girls, I wanted them to be bilingual. I just think that we're living in a global economy. We're living, a time of global competition. And
Yes.
so if they could have two languages and have a wider perspective than just the US,
Yes.
then I wanted to give that to them. And so the more I started traveling, I went to China a few years ago, and then I went to Africa, and I kind of got addicted to traveling. And I'm like, you know what? There's so much to see. I don't want to for me, life became about not just so much making money in the bag and securing the bag and so forth, but it really was the experiences that I could have, because the
Yes.
experiences would really change my life and really inform my kids of the world that's there. So um, one day, I think my wife and I, so we built a house, a really nice house.
I remember
We had,
you guys started in real estate. I
yeah,
remember that because I was following you guys and you guys were doing renovations and things. You guys were still into that really big, correct?
absolutely, absolutely. But what ended up happening was there was a time where that sort of came to its zenith, in that we were a part of a television show called Louisiana Flip and Move. We did 2 seasons with them, or pilot season, and then the main season. And then Discovery bought them, and then all this stuff happened. But it was really cool experience, 17 episodes. And it
Awesome.
brought, thank
Awesomeness. We're not going to gloss over that. That was
you.
major.
So that happened, and right during that time, like I said, so we built a really nice house, and you have the car, the house, the jewelry, all of the trappings of success, right? And it feels great, and it was fun. But then sometimes you're looking at yourself like, okay, like that was fun, but what's next?
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't just live in this house all day long, and it's like there's more to whatever, right?
Right.
More. So I felt like the newest frontier and the challenge was, let's, we can do it. Like everything's set up, our businesses are set up, our finances are set up in such a way, like we can pull this off. Like, let's live in another place. And so we would like talk about it, and like, nah, then we talk about it, nah. And then one day I just came out of the room and I'm like, Lou, we're moving. Like, we're going. And she's like, don't play. Like, I will do this. And so I'm like, let's do it. And so
Hold on.
she
Let's
started,
take a moment for husband and wife being on one accord.
yeah,
Let's take a moment for that. It takes a strong woman,
right,
well, I'm gonna say it this way. Behind every powerful man, there's a strong woman.
absolutely.
And for you guys to be on the same accord, it has a lot to do with your success.
Without a doubt,
Yeah.
without a doubt. Like that's a major rabbit hole there, because since day one, I mean, you talking about that teamwork and that center. One of the name of our companies is DL Synergy, and so it's just about that synergistic, impact, where when 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2,
Yes.
and so it's been very powerful.
A wise man knows that he's nothing without his wife.
Look, facts. That is the absolute truth.
Yes. So
With that,
moving from your wife's father, and going into Colombia. So you
yep,
guys decided to take the reins and move out there. So I
that's
want
right.
to ask you, because I noticed that you do a lot of educating about the history and the culture of
Yep.
the region. Have you run into any of those stereotypical situations where the locals are not as friendly to African Americans, or have you seen some of the colorism or those type of experiences since you've been there?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to just take, I guess, so yeah, one step before that is like upon moving here, so Colombia has the fourth largest African population in the world.
Wow.
And so I think, so outside of Africa, so you have Brazil is number one, United States is second, Haiti is third, and then Colombia is number four. So that was also mixed into this decision of being here because I knew I was going to be launching Bean, and it's going to be important to be around Black people, right? And
Yes.
so, but in terms of the things that you speak of, like colorism, I definitely experienced it. And that was the thing, like with me moving here, I used to talk about the diaspora, but talking about the diaspora and then experiencing it in terms of being a part of being a part of the diaspora in a different way, like being in a different way
It
or a
brings a
different
new
experience
new
out of
feeling
the
about
US.
Pan-Africanism.
Say it again.
It brings about the full understanding of Pan-Africanism.
Right.
Because
And
we
it's
we, we want to be connected to, all others, from our, we want to be connected to Africans on every continent, but
yes,
it seems so vague and distant when you're in America, you're disconnected, but being
there
there,
you
it gives you that knowledge, the understanding, the feeling versus just,
a theory.
concept. Yeah, yeah.
There you go. That's exactly it. So it's like, so I embraced that and I saw it. So like our maid, she's a Black woman, and Afro-Colombian. And when I met her, which I was so happy to hire her because speaking of colorism, speaking of the challenges here, a lot of times people of African descent are not treated well.
Yeah.
And especially if you're in, like, let's say the working class or the service, let's say like servant class, because this is a very classist society,
Yeah.
and so when I met her one day, I'm running home from the gym, and I see her, she's like walking a dog or what have you, and then in the little Spanish that I had at the time, we start talking, and I was just so happy to see another Black person where I live, and I told her that I was looking to hire someone, and a couple days later, she showed up to the house, and then we chatted, and I basically hired her, and she's been like family, and we treat her like royalty. Like when we go out, she goes out. When we,
Right.
get a manicure, pedicure, like we all get one. Like her kids, we support them from the movies, games. Like that's my family.
I want to
And
commend you for being that kind of CEO.
I appreciate
It's very, there's, like you're talking about, class and
it. Yeah,
status. There's a gap when it comes to morality and connectivity in
right.
the work environment. And so
Yeah,
I want to commend you for being that kind of employer, that kind of boss, because that is not the standard,
yeah.
and you don't have to do that. But you're a man of God. So there's a standard that you walk with carrying that.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you saying that. It's something that, like you said, I don't take it lightly. And I remember where God has brought me from. You know what I'm saying? And it's like I know that feeling that when people think that just because of the color of your skin, that there's certain things you don't know or certain places you don't belong. And so, to speak to it, absolutely. A lot of times here, there are a lot of kind people, as they say here, muy amable, very nice.
Yeah.
But also you have that classism. So whereas when they find out, oh man, he's doing well or what have you, then they'll treat you differently. They'll treat you equal. But a lot of times if they don't know that you're successful, then you're getting the side eye, you're getting the looks, the
Right.
dirty. And, as to like, how can you be eating here? Or why are you at this place or whatever? And so, and that's the thing. It's like, and that's why I
How do
have,
you deal with it?
so, I deal with it. I had to work on my attitude, honestly, because initially I was kind of snapping a little bit. And I said, hey, Darren, first of all, listen, they don't know you. And you just have to be comfortable in your own skin. So if that's their perspective, then that's their perspective. Like, It's misinformed, it's not accurate, on and on and on. But don't let that change who you are. You know what I mean? So in other words, if you're saying good morning, you continue to say good morning.
Yeah.
So don't react to what they're doing. Just be who you are and let the chips fall where they may. And
So
so,
speaking of being who you are,
uh,
and talking about the African population, African
yep,
American, the African diaspora, what you are doing with BEAN. I need you to tell everyone what the acronym BEAN stands for and what you're doing with BEAN.
yes. So BEAN has a twofold meaning. It's BEAN is Black Economic Advancement Network.
Come on, revolutionary.
Yes, yes. It's Black Economic Advancement Network, and that's what it's about. It's about Black economic empowerment. It's about building wealth. So we also own building economic advancement networks, because we hope that one day BEAN becomes so successful that the idea of it just being Black Economic Advancement Network will almost be to the backdrop. In other words, because we will have achieved our goal, that is not just perpetual. In other words, maybe one day we're looking for other communities in the world that need the same empowerment that we need today.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And so yeah, that's what BEAN is. BEAN is Black Economic Advancement Network. BEAN is about saying, hey, listen, it's not enough just for likes and comments and using our digital data, digital real estate on platforms that we do not own. So you have the Facebooks, you have the Instagrams, you have Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of these networks. And so many think that we can just be a subgroup on the platform. They think that, oh no, I remember this one girl years ago told me, we don't need something like being there. And, we have Black Twitter. And I asked her, can Black Twitter send you a dividend? Tell me the shares, tell me the ownership that you have in Black Twitter. Thank God for Black Twitter. Thank God for what it's accomplished. But that is the first step. We need ownership. We need equity, because without ownership, without equity, you cannot control your narrative. You cannot control your story. You will always be subjected to what people think you should deserve. And so even when like the White House was coming after Mark Zuckerberg, because of their hiring practices and things like that, to me, you can only go so far with that. Mark's a better man than me in large part. I would have never sat there and listened to half of it. He has a social responsibility to do better, but that is not his obligation. The idea of us just begging him for opportunity, begging him for money is absolutely ludicrous when we hold the power to change our own destinies.
Yes.
So you're going to tell me that we can't create for our own community a digital platform where we can network, have a good time, and make money.
No! Create your own table.
Yes.
Stop begging for a seat at the table and create your own. There's a lot of talk going on right now about TikTok and other social media apps that have been very, very biased, and the algorithms that are just not supportive of our voices. So our voices are being suppressed. And like you said, this is a whole economic thing. So we understand that we are disadvantaged mostly, and our voices are suppressed because of our economic disadvantage. Right? And so when you're talking about creating and building wealth, I personally feel like the voices are not as important if you have economics, because then you can build your own things. You don't have to worry about, please give this to us. We need this, we need that. Then we can do it for ourselves. We can build our own mental health facilities. We can build our own schools. We can build our own everything. These infrastructures that are put into place are pretty much welfare. Whether it's education or, healthcare, whatever, we can build all of our own, all of this. But as long as we are, in a position to where we need the government to take care of us, we're going to continue to be at a disadvantage. Black people, disproportionately, killed in hospitals, in the community, so economics is the ground of it. It starts with love. Love is the first thing. And then after love is economics.
Ingrid, you're saying so much right now. Like it's so much, because I like what you said. In terms of economics, the Bible says that a poor man's voice will not be heard. So it's like the economic component of it, to your point, if you have wealth, then you're going to have a voice. They just go together. That's just the way it works. And so, I mean, I think
That's powerful.
it's well said.
That's powerful. So how can our viewers invest in Beam?
Absolutely.
Because
So
they can have ownership in this.
we can have ownership in this. So right now we have an offer on an SEC approved, so Security Exchange Commission approved. There's a True Crowd is one of 34 companies appointed by the government that is accredited and authorized to offer stock in startup companies. And so they can visit truecrowd.com. That's TRU crowd.com. And then you can search for Bean. And in that, Bean is it's one of the top ones. You click there, and you can actually buy stock in Bean today. And it's great because President Obama actually made that possibility available in the 2008 Jobs Act, where basically he allowed unaccredited investors to be able to participate in startup companies. So before 2008, before the Jobs Act, unless a person was an accredited investor, they could not participate in startup companies. So that means that that person would have to have at least $1 million net worth and 200,000 a year in income. So the way the laws were written, it says that if a person didn't at least have that, then they were not sophisticated enough, essentially, to make an investment decision. Well, President Obama reversed that and created the Jobs Act, so it levels the playing field that anyone can get into startup companies, startup opportunities. Right. So it's a great opportunity.
In other words, put some respect on Barack Obama's name.
Put some respect on his name. Put some respect on the man's name.
Yes.
So yeah.
So that is, you know, incredible. You are making history. You're the only African American or, you know, Black person worldwide, really, who owns an interactive social media app.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Blast that on CNN. I would put that on, you know, Fox. I would put that everywhere because that should be something that is put right under Black Lives Matter. It should be put right under reparations.
Yes.
Honestly, because social media is so powerful.
Yes, it is.
It is so powerful. And we give up freedoms with the social media that we participate in. We don't understand how much power we give away as people.
Yeah.
Just over social media.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, you can go, but somebody's walking their dog here.
All is well, but yeah, like we give away so much power, and so I would, you know, champion Being as like priority, like top priority for us to either invest in it or just, you know, download the app and become a member of it, you know.
Without a doubt. Look, let me speak to it. So what happens is when you invest, right, in Bean and you participate with the platform, you directly control, you impact the growth of that company. So if I post on Facebook and I post on Instagram and I post on all these networks and I have very limited equity in those companies because they've already reached such market saturation, then, you know, my impact is very little. I mean, almost non-existent. But with Bean, as a shareholder of Bean, with knowing its mission, knowing its purpose, and the economic opportunity that it presents, that, hey, if I can rally my resources, my digital data, my posts, my memes, my comments, my whatever on a platform that I have equity in, then why wouldn't I do that?
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, and then as Bean grows, our commitment is just to reinvest back into our community, back into our businesses. And we become a force to be reckoned with. I mean, you looked at LinkedIn. LinkedIn was acquired by Microsoft for $37 billion. Okay. There's 20 companies across the world that are social network companies, many that you may have never even heard of, many that I hadn't even heard of.
What's Bean apart from LinkedIn?
Many things. One of them, I would say that Bean is like an Instagram meets LinkedIn in terms of people on Bean are going a little bit deeper. It's not just, here's my resume, I am this, and I'm going to not necessarily I'm not going to say how I feel, Whereas being, people are letting their guards down. It's like, whew, it's like being at home almost in a way. It's just
know what it
like,
reminds me of? It
what's that?
reminds me of code switching. Like you don't have to code switch anymore.
Mm,
Like to be a professional in America because we're
right,
being a minority, having to, operate within the majority. We
right,
have to code switch and be something other than. And what you're
right.
saying is that with being, the professionalism is understood and it's not questioned because you are, you
There
know,
you go.
yeah.
There you
That's
go.
that's
I can
powerful.
say what's up, and you not think, oh man, Darren's unprofessional. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
a lady who owns a brand. She's promoting. It's a really nice soap that she creates. And I'm like, whoa, what's up? How are you? Whatever, whatever. And it's just like, that's okay because that's our culture, and
Yeah.
it's not wrong. It's not bad.
I'm
It's
about
not.
to cry. I'm about to cry. That's deep. That's
And
deep.
it's all
That's
love.
deep. That's deep.
So
And basically what it is our true voice.
that's right.
It's a platform for economic development and growth where our voices are not stifled and we can be truly ourselves.
Yes.
It seems like the perfect environment for the development of group economics.
Yes. It is. And let me tell you another way that it's different. Being is it's we're as we grow, we're honing in and focusing on economic reciprocity, economic empowerment. And so what that's going to look like is that right now there's a feature on the app that allows each user to measure their economic input within our community. So it's not enough just to complain about, man, we don't spend money with each other, we don't do this. Well, now we could solve that because we could create a network where we can see who has what. And then now there's a rating system. So it's not just, okay, you're black and you're professional and you're good. So I'm going to have ratings, okay? We're going to have reviews. But then also I'm going to be able to track my input into this community. So people who are saying that, oh, we don't do this, that, and the other, well, now I can go to your profile and see how much money are you spending within our community. And then to take it a step further, we're wanting to change to where we have more of a healthy, competitive, we have a healthy competition in terms of, it's not about me having on red bottom, such and such shoes, or my wife having red bottom shoes. It's about that I spent such and such within our community, that I'm looking to empower our community. So instead of people, tagging Saks Fifth Avenue, which we have no equity in that. So it means nothing. Or Louis
It
Vuitton
changes
and
the culture. It changes
yes,
the culture. I wrote an article the other day and it was about how we rather look rich than be rich,
right.
and we glamorize that putting money outside of the community. And so what you're saying is this is making it cool to promote being able to spend. I was just thinking the other day, I was like, what if Lil Wayne's song, he did a song, it's a song about hustling. I was like, what if he did this song about flipping houses? That's a
Yeah,
hustle too. You know,
it's awesome.
same beat, the same flow, just, and the same cockiness about making money and about being
Wow,
successful, just about business.
that's it.
That would have been so
It,
cool.
it
But
really
but
is.
this is what we're doing. We're changing the culture. And so while the conversations are going on right now about reparations and what we need to do for our culture, we're going to have to change a lot of things. And this definitely has to be it. How we look at one another when it comes to
Yeah,
business, trusting each other in business, respecting each other
yeah,
in business, to continue to, because we cannot have another Black Wall Street without our money being recycled
that's
within
right.
our community. And so this is amazing. It is outstanding. It is groundbreaking. You are making history. And I hope that everyone who is in earshot, who is listening, who sees this, goes on and creates a profile.
Absolutely.
Yes. So do you have any last words that you want to leave our audience with, whether it be about the diaspora, family, or
Yeah.
being, or any, just being a serial entrepreneur, because you do so much, you know?
I would say twofold. One, if you're hearing this message and it really resonates with you, we definitely appreciate your support. And go to the Apple Store, go to the Android Store, in the Play Store, and download Being Now. It's Being Now. You can download it today. And the community is literally, it's like coming to a big party. Everybody is celebrating every new person that downloads the app. It's like, it's the love that's been present. It's been absolutely amazing, you know. And then
I'm about to cry. I can't take it. I can't take it. It's like family, huh? A social media family.
it
Like
really,
it's like coming to the cookout. You know how we invite everybody to the cookout? You know, it's like a real cookout.
and everybody making plates for each other, right? Like it's that kind of love. And
Doggy bags. You get sent home with a doggy bag. You eat
yes,
while you're there and you get a doggy bag.
everybody taking a bag home.
Yes. I love
So,
it. I love it.
and then I would say on the other side of that, you know, for the up and coming entrepreneurs, just like, you know, find that thing that you would do for free, and pour your heart into it. Find ways to monetize it, you know, so that it can be sustainable as you grow and so forth. But pour your heart into that thing that really drives you, the thing that makes you angry when you see it, when if it's not corrected, you know. Just go all in and don't chase a bunch of different things, you know. A lot of times people see the different companies that I own now, but a lot of that is really the result of having a strong foundation. My foundation in terms of business was in real estate, is in real estate. And so it has afforded the other opportunities. But sometimes when you start down a path and then you're met with some resistance, if you change every time you meet resistance, then you're not going to break through to that next level to
You're
really
speaking to me.
maximize
You
your
are speaking
potential.
to me.
Come on,
I received that. That's for me.
that's for you.
Thank you. You know, and I'm sure so many others are inspired and encouraged by your words and just by your being. I believe that you were groomed from birth to be and do what you are doing. I praise God for your mother and for your father-in-law, because all the things that you experienced and were exposed to have brought you where you are today. And so I'm just very, very grateful for you today. I'm grateful for your time. I'm grateful for your being. And you know, but you know, you gotta love people. You have to give people their flowers. You have to let people know, you know, who they are. I'm sure you're living really, really comfortable, but you never know how what life deals people and what they're going through on a day to day. And the only thing that keeps people going is love.
That's
You
right.
know, you don't want to assume, oh, you know, she knows she's beautiful. I ain't gonna tell her she's beautiful. Or
Yeah.
he know he got it going on. I ain't gonna tell him. No, you have to love people. You have to give them their flowers and tell them who they are. And I hope you know who you are.
Well,
Yeah,
look, I appreciate you sharing that, and I mean, I also want to say like it's really cool to just see how you've evolved, because I haven't talked to you in like so long, and to
right.
see like, wow, like this is Ingrid, like this is Miss Ingrid now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, put some respect on her name. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, I love it. I love it,
Thank
and
you.
I'm here for it. Anything I can do to encourage these kind of conversations, or in any way that I could help, you know, I want to be a part of us just, you know, building together, because
Yeah.
there's no need to compete. There's no scarcity. You know, it's only abundance. And, you know, so I'm here for it all. And congratulations on your success, and congratulations on all that you're accomplishing and the woman that you're evolving and growing to be. It's awesome.
Thank
And I
you.
mean, this has been a great day.
Yes. Hopefully we'll be talking again soon.
Hey, I look forward to it. I
Thank
absolutely look forward
you.
to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for
Until next time, world, y'all love one another.
yes.